Good afternoon. I don't know why I did that. It was perfectly quiet in here. I appreciate everybody being here for our 3 o'clock regular session of Cleveland City Council, Monday, January the 28th. I'll call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Mayor Brooks?
Here.
Councilwoman McKenzie?
Here.
Councilman Estes?
Here.
Councilman Cassada?
Here.
Councilman May?
Here.
Councilman Goff?
Here.
Vice Mayor Webb?
Here.
Councilman Moore?
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. As is our tradition in the City with Spirit, we will begin with our pledge and a prayer. Today, giving the invocation is the Director of Youth, Pastor Autumn Peterson from Broad Street United Methodist. We're thankful that you're with us. And as soon as we pledge, I'll ask for you to give the invocation. Salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor?
If you'll bow your heads. Father, you are holy. You are righteous and you are good. And so I ask that we'd all just take a breath. For the things that are on the agenda and on our minds, you are number one. You are the one thing. You're not a plan B. Lord, I thank you for who you are and what you're doing. Would you give wisdom and guidance, discernment, and would you bring unity? Your spirit is one that unifies. Lord, you are so kind to us and faithful when we are unfaithful to you, and you are always reaching down. So we give you this day, we give you this afternoon. It's in your holy, precious, beautiful name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Next item on the agenda is to waive the reading of the minutes from our last regular session on July 14th, 2025, and that does take a motion from this council.
Mayor, I move that the City Council of the City of Cleveland waive the reading of the minutes of the regular session of the City Council held on July 14th, 2025, and approve them as written.
Second.
That's a proper motion by Vice Mayor Ken Webb, properly seconded by Councilman May. Any changes, questions, or comments about those minutes? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Webb?
Aye.
Councilman May?
Aye.
Councilman Cassada?
Aye.
Councilman Goff?
Aye.
Councilman Moore?
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie?
Aye.
Councilman Estes?
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. It takes us to item 5, which is special presentations and public comments. I don't have any special presentations scheduled for the 3 o'clock meeting, but we do have a special introduction. We have our junior councilman of the day, Mr. Charles White, who is here with us, and junior at Cleveland High School. We had a presentation of his certificate as a guest of Councilman Moore earlier. Mr. White, Councilman White, you are welcome. Thank you for being here today. Let's make him feel welcome. Do you get extra credit for this at Cleveland High School?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Mayor, I think somebody has a comment in the audience.
All right.
Want to address it?
All right. This is the opportunity for public comments. Is there anyone who wishes to make a public comment? Yes, sir.
Make it up there.
If you'll state your name for the record, please, sir.
My name is Warbritt Lowry. I'm the president of the NAACP here locally. And I have a request to the council. Good evening, gentlemen and lady. I have a request that we're having a banquet that's coming up on August the 8th. The banquet is Emancipation of 1863. It's in recognition of that. The bill was passed by Governor Lee in 2024 as a state holiday. So we need to be educated on what that entails. So this event that we'll be giving and the banquet would definitely give us the insight on what that's all about. Along with that, we're going to be recognizing Reverend Harry Johnson, who was the first NAACP president here locally. So he started the branch here. So those are the two events that's going to be happening on that day. And the banquet is on August the 8th at 6 p.m. at the 5 Point Museum.
Thank you, Mr. Lowry. We appreciate you coming. Anyone else? Councilman Cassidy, do you have anyone else?
No, sir, that was.
All right. Anyone else? Mr. Fibus, you're recognized.
Yeah, Councilman Cassida had mentioned at the 1 o'clock session about the garbage can issue along Highway 60, and in talking to our staff that they had already been working on the ordinance to modify our restrictions on that. But more importantly, they're probably going to make a sweep across the entire city with cans that are out there inappropriate. So they have little hanger tags that they'll hang on them saying, here are the rules, and please do this. So you'll start seeing some of those, and hopefully none of us get them.
No, I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Fibus, and thank you, Councilman Cassidy. Next item on the agenda is hearing, petitions, and communications under item 6. Our first hearing today is item A, public hearing to hear request by Peggy Pesterfield for consideration of an ordinance to zone 1.14 acres property located at Peerless Road Northwest, changing from R1 single-family residential to R2 low-density single-family and multifamily residential. This was approved by the Planning Commission 6-0, and I'll declare this public hearing to be open. Mr. Ronell, if you could give us your staff report.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is a property that includes duplex on it. It was zoned R1 with the passing of the original zoning ordinance. Even though the structure is a duplex and was built probably well before that, the intent of the applicant is to add an additional duplex to the property. Being that it is R2 in use, staff supported the request, as did the Planning Commission. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Varnell. Anyone have questions from the council for Mr. Varnell? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll now hear from anyone who would like to speak in favor of this request. Please indicate by raising your hand. And seeing none, anyone like to speak in opposition to this request, like sign, please raise your hand. And seeing none, I will declare this public hearing to be closed. Item B is a public hearing to hear public comments concerning a request by Daniel Smith for consideration of a plan of service, a resolution to annex, and an ordinance to zone 0.34 acres of property located at Strawberry Lane Northeast, zoning from FAR unincorporated county to now R2 low-density single and multifamily zoning. This was approved by the Planning Commission 7-0. I'll declare this public hearing to be open. Mr. Varnell, we look forward to your report.
Yes, sir. This is a location where sewer was ran, many years ago, and several of the properties never did connect at that time. There is a single-family home on the property. The intent of the applicant is to demolish the existing home, subdivide the property into 2 lots, and build 2 single-family homes back in its place, and then connect to the sewer on site. Staff and the Planning Commission recommended approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Farnell. Any comments or questions from the council? Seeing none, thank you,
you.
sir. Will anyone like to speak in favor of this rezoning request? Please indicate by raising your hand. And seeing none, would anyone like to speak in opposition to this request? Like sign. And seeing none, we will declare this public hearing to be closed. Item C is public hearing to hear public comments concerning a request by Bill Sanders for consideration of a plan of service, a resolution to annex, and an ordinance to zone 16.17 acres of property located at Pleasant Grove Road Southwest from C2 FAR unincorporated county to CH Commercial Highway. This was approved by the Planning Commission 7-0, and I'll declare this public hearing to be open. Mr. Barnell?
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is a property in the vicinity of Exit 20 that the property owners have been grading and doing site work on for a considerable amount of time. The largest of the total acreage is right behind the Pilot gas station. So there's a kind of a ridge right there, or higher elevation. That's the property in question. Their intent is to develop interstate, commercial style development, and through that process, it's pretty straightforward. Both the city staff and Planning Commission recommended approval. Utility work is not very extensive, so happy to answer any questions you may have if there are any.
Thank you, Mr. Barnell. Any questions from the council? Seeing none, we will ask if anyone would like to speak in favor of this request. If you could indicate by raising your hand. Seeing none, if you would like to speak in opposition to this request, like sign. And seeing none, I will declare this public hearing to be closed. Item D is a public hearing to hear public comments concerning a request by the City of Cleveland for consideration of a proposed amendment to the zoning map to expand the IGC Interstate Gateway Corridor Overlay District to include tax map 56 parcels 4204 and 4205 and part of tax map 56 parcel 5106. This was approved by the Planning Commission 7-0. I'll declare this public hearing to be open, and Mr. Barnell will hear your report.
This one's pretty straightforward. Much of it goes with the previous public hearing. As we annex property around the interstate, we're going to extend that IGC over those areas to incorporate the overlay that the Interstate Gateway Corridor provides. There's another parcel that was split in half by it. We're just going to go ahead and bring in the totality of it. Pretty straightforward from staff's perspective. Obviously, Planning Commission also recommended approval. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Great. Any comments or questions from the council?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barnell. Would anyone like to speak in favor of this request? Please indicate by raising your hand. And like sign, would anyone like to speak in opposition to this request? If you'll raise your hand. Seeing none, I will declare this public hearing to be closed. Item E is a public hearing to hear public comments concerning a request by the Winstead Partnership, Kelly E. Story, for consideration of an ordinance to zone 52.18 acres of property located at Stone Lake Road from CH Highway Commercial and RA Residential Agricultural zoning and IGC Interstate Gateway Corridor to now a PUD, Planned Unit Development, and Interstate Gateway Corridor, including tax map 56, parcel 5106. I'll declare this public hearing to be open. Mr. Barnell.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This development, as some may recall, the Newman Farm development that occurred behind it was required to access Stone Lake Road through this development eventually. And so those two entities have been working together. As we discussed at 1 o'clock, the voting on that will be pushed until that agreement is finalized between them. But from a perspective of, bringing all of that residential development out to Stone Lake Road, out to the Tom Rowland interchange where we've invested funds for access, and there's some future commercial development in the area. So it was very important from a staff's perspective to get that road out to Stone Lake from the Newman Farm development that we approved probably about a year ago. So this PUD includes requirements of that road being constructed, as well as a turn lane on Stone Lake, a deceleration lane into the development. It also includes amenity requirements and architectural standards, as well as having the IGC. If we extend that, those requirements will be in place as well. Planning Commission recommended approval as well, and if there's any questions or comments, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Varnell. Any comments or questions from the council? Seeing none, thank you, sir. I'll ask if anyone would like to speak in favor of this request. Like sign, anyone would like to speak in opposition to this request, please indicate by raising your hand. Seeing none, we will declare this public hearing to be closed. Item F is a public hearing concerning a request by multiple property owners for consideration of an ordinance to zone 22 acres of property located at Williams Street from R1 single-family residential zoning to now PUD 65. And this was approved by the Planning Commission 8-0. And we will declare this public hearing to be open. Mr. Varnell, your report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I discussed this briefly at our 1 o'clock work session, kind of the processes that this went through. Planning Commission here, back to Planning Commission, now we're back again. Some of the primary items that are included within this PUD request is infrastructure improvements on 20th Street and Neely Circle. This includes turn lane, as well as sight distance improvements on Neely Circle for turning out. The PUD itself includes up to 140 units. Most likely it'll be somewhere in the 134 range. There's amenities, a significant buffer along the western property line. Planning Commission's recommendation on this included 2 additional items that they wanted to be included in the PUD. The first one was that the vegetative buffer and fence shall be installed prior to the issuance of any building permits. So they can get their site, work going, but that buffer will be fully in place. The other item was that construction crew access cannot utilize Williams Street. So in essence, those Neely Circle improvements must be in place, and construction crews have to utilize that road as opposed to Williams, so we don't have dump trucks and things of that nature coming out of there. So the PUD, the buffer, as we stated before, includes keeping as much of the existing tree cover as possible and adding additional trees where needed. And I've already seen a few locations and sat with some property owners and looked at that. The fence itself is an 8-foot fence that will also border that buffer on the interior of the development. And then the improvements as stated on 20th Street and Neely Circle. There are also amenities within the development for the development itself. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have on this one, but both Planning Commission and staff recommend approval.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Varnell. Any comments or questions from the council?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will now ask if there's anyone who would like to speak in favor of this request. If you please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. Pat Howe on behalf of Multi-Land Co., members of council. Would you like me to present on the project now or wait till the ordinance reading?
Your choice, sir.
I think.
I think now would be the
If we could get the site plan up, Robert, that would be helpful.
Well, you didn't get it.
Okay.
We'll work on the technical.
Sure.
You can
I'm
start.
sure you've seen it in your packet. Thank you for having me this afternoon. It's great to be here again.
They do have a copy that they can.
Perfect. Okay, I was just going to kind of illustrate some things. I have with me today the Stevenson and Blankenship family, the owners of the property. We've been working on this since October, I believe, and it's been quite a journey. So I appreciate the city and Robert and Erica and his staff. It's been a great process, and the neighbors and Mr. Councilman Estes. We've had good dialogue over the past few months. This project started out with 156 townhome units, 15 feet from the Woodchase neighborhood, which is what the ordinance allows. Didn't even think about the buffer in the beginning, and that's been the main piece of conversation. So we went back to the drawing board, we lowered the unit count down to 134, and this is a very complicated site with a Corps of Engineers dam being built in the middle of it. and a lot of just different challenging aspects of it, the traffic, etc. But what we've landed on, we believe is a great fit for the property. It'd be 134 3-bedroom rental townhomes with a clubhouse, no pool, but a clubhouse, nice picnic grove area, meeting rooms, business center, that type of thing. 1-car garage in each unit, and you'd fit 2 to 3 cars in each driveway. So we meet all the setback requirements required by the city, and the buffer to the west along Wood Chase, it's a 50-foot protected buffer. It's a beautiful site with very large mature trees. It'd be like a conservation easement essentially. Couldn't touch it. Then there'll be a 50-foot road, another 100, up to 100 feet, and then a 35-foot setback. So you're 135 feet from the property line to the first building as it relates to Wood Chase. The alternative under the current zoning would be about 12 single-family homes, like a BTR build-to-rent community, 15 feet from the line. And under that plan, you wouldn't be able to save much of the green space. Under our plan, you're saving about 65% green space. So we're able to compact the development, move it into certain areas, respect the stream and dam that's being built, and really kind of fit it nicely into the neighborhood. We think this is a great housing product for the community. You'll recall I was behind the Lewis Street Apartments, and this is sort of the other alternative, rental townhomes. There's been some concerns about school impacts, et cetera, et cetera. Across our kind of portfolio, we find that about 15% of the units have school-aged children, and above that, 30% already live in the district. So compare that to 100 to 150 single-family homes, it's a much lower impact. As far as traffic goes, we had a full-blown traffic study done. I believe it's in your report. The first plan was to come off of William Street. That was sort of why not? It's a public street. What's the problem? But after talking to our planner and working with the traffic engineer in the city, we changed that after doing a whole plan to make it come off of Neely Circle. And really, what the goal is there is that half the traffic is going to go east and half is going to go west. And if we exit out to the east, we're 100 feet further from the sight distance concern. So we think it's going to kind of spread the traffic out and really help mitigate those concerns. We've also worked with staff and Robert to come up with traffic improvements. So we're changing the intersection of Neely and 20th to the east, and we're completely improving Neely to the west. So it's a public road improvement throughout the site and then to the west. So we're really committing a lot to making sure this is a safe access point for everyone. I've reached out to Wood Chase on numerous occasions. We've had good dialogue. The first plan, there was a standing room only. And the second plan, it sounds like we've addressed their concerns. And I think mainly being that we're protecting and we're listening to them, and we're 135 feet away from the property line. So happy to answer any questions now or at the next meeting. I know the property owners would like to speak briefly. We appreciate your support, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of this request? If you'll state your name for the record, please.
Donna Tucker, and I am co-owner of the William Street property. We all live within timelines, and whether it's events in one's personal life or events on a shared timeline with a community of people. And so today I speak regarding the timeline of the developments surrounding the William Street property. The first and largest development on the timeline was the construction of APD 40. Then there was the development of the beautiful Chase Farm that very much resembled our property, and it became the Wood Chase subdivision. Then at the back of the William Street property, the Ralph Buckner Funeral Home was built. Next came the retreat at Spring Creek Apartments. Lastly on the timeline was the development of the Neely Circle houses. Now, the purpose of reviewing this history was to make the point that there was a specific time for each of these developments to find their places on the timeline. And now, it's time for the Williams Street property to be developed and find its place on the timeline as well. So as the sellers, it's our sincere desire that this beautiful property that we've owned for well over 60 years will be thoughtfully developed to benefit both the city of Cleveland and the surrounding community by providing premium housing, desirable amenities, and pristine upkeep of the grounds. With this proposed PUD development, at least 63% of the land will remain as green space, with original trees being left where possible, and we believe that this honors the beauty of this property. We respectfully ask that each of you consider the rezoning of the Williams Street property from R1 to PUD to allow for Mr. Howe's proposed PUD plan. Because again, we believe that it will benefit both the city of Cleveland and the surrounding properties. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? If you'll state your name for the record, please, sir.
Jerry Stevenson. I too am a co-owner of the property. Pat Howe joined our timeline in November of 2024 when he demonstrated an interest in the purchase of the Williams Street property. Since joining us, Mr. Howe has invested a lot of time, effort, and money in environmental studies, 2 traffic studies, surveys, and engineering plans. He has made numerous revisions to the engineering plans to accommodate various concerns that have arisen over time. In fact, in making these revisions, he has had to reduce the number of units he had originally planned to build. He has reached out to address issues voiced by surrounding residents and has collaborated with city officials to attempt to resolve these matters. I genuinely feel Mr. Howe wants the best for our community and wants to do everything possible to make it favorable to all concerned. Our family believes Pat has a clear vision for the future of the Williams Street property in the proposed PUD development. And we ask that all involved would seize this opportunity to allow this development to proceed for the betterment of the city of Cleveland. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we've had 3 speak in favor of this rezoning request. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of this request? Please indicate by raising your hand. Seeing none, is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to this request? If you'll please raise your hand. And seeing none, I will declare this public hearing to be closed. And thankfully, that's the end of our public hearings. Takes us to item number 7 on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. The consent agenda was presented and discussed at the 1 o'clock meeting and it's in your packets. To pass the consent agenda, it does require a motion from this council.
So moved.
That's a proper motion by Vice Mayor Webb. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman Estes. Any comments, questions, or concern about the consent agenda as it was presented? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassada.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Gott.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. It takes us to item 8, which is unfinished business. Item 8A is final passage of ordinance 2025-35, the adoption of the 2025 tax rate as 1.2632. This is in your packets on pages 44 and 45. It was discussed at our work session at 1 o'clock, and this ordinance final passage does require a motion from this council.
Second.
That's a proper motion by Councilwoman McKenzie. It's properly seconded by Councilman Estes. Is there any additional comments, questions, or concerns from the council on this passage? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
No.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. That carries 6-1.
That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Fivas, is this where we have to sign it during the working open meeting? All right, members of the council, so what is being distributed now is the final passage ordinance as passed, and we are required by statute to sign it during the meeting as an open meeting. Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and thank you, members of the council. That concludes unfinished business.
You got somebody with a hand up.
Sorry, Mr. Fivas. Thanks, Councilman.
Just for clarity's sakes, there's a small memo that's been reviewed by Christie and John Kimball that because we're targeting certain pieces of this, is that basically it outlines like that like for the widening of Mountain Creek, that the money would go into a special fund, and then any money that would come out of the fund, you would be able to identify that. We're just trying to identify in minutes that everything will be partitioned, everyone will have full accounting of each dollar that's going in and every dollar that comes out. So we're just trying to, for the people that look at this 10 years from now, to do that. So we have a memo that we would add here, and just, again, Christie and John looked at it, and it just identifies that we have a fund and this is how it's going to be paid for.
And that is a new addition to our packet, or is it also currently in our packet?
It is not in your packet, but I'll pass on the letter.
Great.
Want to make sure that it gives context to everything we've talked about, but it's a document that talks about the individual projects that we're funding.
All right. That concludes item number 8, unfinished business. It takes us to item number 9 on our agenda, which is reports from council members. We begin in the 3rd District, Councilman Cassida.
Mayor, I have nothing. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm not sure why that made me laugh, Tom. I apologize. You said, I have nothing. Councilman May.
I don't have anything.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Goff.
Yeah, I just want to recognize all the people that are in town for International Teen Talent for the Church of God. We've got, I've been told almost 4,000 people visiting Cleveland, so welcome to those individuals. And I also wanted to, I got a message about the Greenway and the water fountains. If we could maybe check all the water fountains, but specifically the one near Gondolier, that restroom there is not working currently. So
The water faucet.
the water fountain,
Actual,
the fountain that's on the Greenway.
we have a lot of problems with fountains, but we'll have someone look at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Goff. And I'll add to that announcement of the 4,000 guests who are sleeping and eating and living on the campus of Lee University. So Councilman Estes, your district, shared with Councilman May in parts, is going to be very busy for the next 5 to 7 days. So thank you, Councilman Goff, for that reminder. Vice Mayor Webb.
Nothing, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Moore at large.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Fire pay study. I'm getting word from my firemen. They want to know what's up.
Yeah, it's a pay study for the entire city.
Yep.
The person that was doing it left the company last 2 weeks ago, but they've corrected that, so we should be back on target and moving full speed ahead. So we're getting very close.
Maybe have a report next council meeting, maybe.
We hope so.
Okay.
We're pretty close.
Okay. Thank you. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. And Junior Councilman White.
And I want to add something that we're going to retro back to July 1st. So if it takes another week or so, we would rather get it right. Is that for every week that goes, you're not losing money. We're going to recommend to retro it back. So if it takes, trying to make sure it's right, it's just so you know that time isn't as much of a factor, other than I'm sure that people want to know. is that everyone will be compensated all the way back to July 1st.
Thank you.
All right.
And that's up to the council to decide. That's just what we're going to recommend. Right.
Our guest, Junior Councilman White, any comments?
I just want to say thank you all for welcoming me here. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and this has made me really fall in love with City Council.
Wonderful. Thank God. Councilwoman McKenzie. All right. Councilman Estes.
Yeah, a couple things. Joe and David Shealy, thanks for the signage on First Street Northeast. Really, I went by, it was up so quick and it already made a difference. I had some people call me to say thanks, really appreciate that. And then I shouldn't do this because I hope I don't forget somebody, but Mission 423 had a huge back to school bash at Mosby Park this past weekend. And I don't know how many school supplies and clothes and shoes were given out, but there were hundreds of people at Mosby Park. And so I just want to thank Frank Walker, Kesmond Pugh, Tank Montgomery, Solomon Williams, Reggie Tucker kind of for taking the lead in that. First Baptist for underwriting a big part of it. It was just a huge positive event. I know the city schools kicked off today, right? You guys had a big kickoff this morning. Sorry I couldn't be there, but you know, just kudos to them, and yeah, it's another example of the city with spirit. That's all, Mayor. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Councilman Estes. And I would be remiss for not letting the 3 o'clock meeting know, we were so honored to have the nationally award-winning Cleveland Middle School Beta Club here at the 1 o'clock meeting. And they are representing the city with spirit so well nationally. They came away with, as I read, 3 different levels of awards. And it's great to see Junior Councilman White from Cleveland High School and our Beta Club members from Cleveland Middle School. So we've had and of course, as Councilman Nestor said, the kickoff of Cleveland City Schools today. So we have had a great day supporting education, and we are very grateful. That concludes council reports. Takes us to item number 10 on the agenda, which is new business. The first is item A, zoning ordinance 2025-36, concerning a request by Peggy Pesterfield for consideration of an ordinance to zone 1.14 acres of property at Peerless Road Northwest from R1 single family to R2 low density single and multifamily residential, approved by the Planning Commission 6-0, and does require a motion from the council.
So moved.
It's a proper motion by Councilman May. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Vice Mayor Ken Webb. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie. Aye. Councilman Estes.
Pass.
Carries 6-0 with 1.
That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Item B is Resolution 2025-62 concerning a request by Daniel Smith for consideration of a plan of service of 0.34 acres of property located at Strawberry Lane Northeast. It was approved by the Planning Commission, and this ordinance does require a motion from the council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Councilman May. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman Estes. Any comments, questions, or concerns from the council? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Aye. Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item C is Resolution 2025-63 concerning a request by Daniel Smith for consideration of a resolution to annex 0.34 acres of property located at Strawberry Lane Northeast, approved by the Planning Commission 7-0. This does require a motion from the council.
So moved.
Proper motion by Councilman Estes. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilman May. Any comments, questions, or concerns from the council? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Aye. Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item D, zoning ordinance 2025-37 concerning a request by Daniel Smith for consideration of an ordinance to zone 14.34 acres of property located at Strawberry Lane Northeast from FAR unincorporated county to R2 low-density single and multifamily zoning. This was approved by the Planning Commission 7-0. Does require a motion from this council.
So moved, Mayor.
Proper motion by Councilman Cassada. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Vice Mayor Ken Webb. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item E, Resolution 2025-64, concerning a request by Bill Sanders for consideration of a plan of service for 16.17 acres of property located at Pleasant Grove Road Southwest. Was approved by the Planning Commission 7-0 and does require a motion from the council.
So moved.
It's a proper motion by Councilwoman McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Down there.
All right, Councilman Goff is the second. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item F is Resolution 2025-65 concerning a request by Bill Sanders for consideration of a resolution to annex 16.17 acres of property located at Pleasant Grove Road Southwest, approved by the Planning Commission 7-0. It also requires a motion today from this council.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion by Councilwoman McKenzie, properly seconded by Councilman Goff. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. It takes us to item G, zoning ordinance 2025-38, concerning a request by Bill Sanders for consideration of an ordinance to zone about 1.85 acres of property located at Pleasant Grove Road Southwest from C2 unincorporated county to CH Highway Commercial. Approved by the Planning Commission 7-0 and does require a motion from this council.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion by Councilwoman McKenzie, properly seconded by Councilman Goff. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns from the council? Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item H, zoning ordinance 2025-39, concerning a request by Bill Sanders for consideration of an ordinance to zone 14.32 acres of property located at Pleasant Grove Road Southwest from FAR unincorporated county to CH Highway Commercial, approved by the Planning Commission 7-0. Does require a motion today from the council.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion by Councilwoman McKenzie, properly seconded by Councilman Goff. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item I, ordinance 2025-40, concerning a request by the City of Cleveland for consideration of a proposed amendment to the zoning map to expand the IGC Interstate Gateway Connect Corridor Overlay District to include tax map 56 parcels 4204 and 4205 and part of tax map 56 parcel 51.06, approved by the Planning Commission 7-0 and does require a motion today from the council.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion by Vice Mayor Webb, properly seconded by Councilwoman McKenzie. Any comments or questions from the council? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. As requested and reported at the 1 o'clock meeting, item J, zoning ordinance 2025-41, has been removed from today's agenda by the developer. Item K, zoning ordinance 2025-42, concerning a request by multiple property owners for consideration of an ordinance to zone 22 acres of property located at William Street from R1 Single Family Residential Zoning to PUD 65, including tax map 50I Group E, approved by the Planning Commission 8-0. This does require a motion today from the council.
So moved. Second.
Proper motion by Councilman Goff, properly seconded by Councilman May. Any comments or questions from the council? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Item L on today's agenda is former Whirlpool property purchase discussion and possible action. Councilman Estes, I will defer to you. You had the question at the 1 o'clock session.
There were some other pieces I was curious about. Joe showed me the picture of one. We talked about the others. I move that we approve the, I read this, what I wrote. We move the purchase and sale agreement with Phoenix as presented.
All right, that is a proper motion by Councilman Estes. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by Councilwoman McKenzie. Are there any additional comments, questions, or concerns from the council? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Estes.
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy.
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
Councilman Goff.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Webb.
Aye.
Councilman Moore. Carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That motion passes. Takes us to item number 11 on the agenda, which is announcements. The next city council meeting will be held Monday, August the 11th. Thank you, Junior Councilman White, for being with us today. We are thankful that you were here.